Oh my gosh. Speaking of COVID-19, I feel like when it comes to COVID-19, they're like still trying to scare people with the amount of people dying. And a lot of these people are not even dying of COVID-19. They're just putting that as the cause of death.
I agree with that. I've heard that a couple of times.
And I'm not saying that COVID-19 is not real and people are not really dying from it, but they're really ballooning I feel like they're really ballooning the numbers to look like it's what it's not.
That's scary. You die in a car accident.
That would
COVID-19
suck if they're really doing that. I believe this shit's real.
No, I believe that it's real.
Oh yeah.
But
I would suck if they're doing it. I'm just saying my personal opinion. I think
but
those numbers,
ballooning the numbers.
I just think that it's scary, man. It's scary. People are just dying from it. It's hitting people with underlying issues, and I think it's selfish of people, like especially if you live with like anybody that's elderly or someone who has underlying issues, high blood pressure, diabetes, whatever, and you're just walking around here freely without no mask,
no nothing,
cleaning yourself, your hands, sanitizing or nothing. You bringing that stuff home, you just asking that person to die. So I just think that's sad, because I go to work every day and I see people just walking around with no mask on.
Yeah, you see these Karens out there laughing and not laughing, but coughing on people, getting upset, talking about it's a hoax and it's a federal offense if I can get in the store. I'm like, huh?
What?
They're talking about what is it? You're denying their rights.
Yeah.
By forcing them to wear a mask and all that.
But it's like everyone you're not the only one who has to wear a mask. Everybody.
Right, it's not to prevent you from catching it, it's to prevent you from spreading it. That's the equation they're not trying to figure out right quick. And that's the messed up thing. That's why I think this country still got those high rates, but other countries are settling down. Like Barbados, they're opening back up again.
Some countries I don't even they have like 1 case, 2 cases, and we're over here.
The way they reacted, they just jumped right on it. Like, why is he coughing so funny? Let's shut him down real quick. 14 days, yo. Meanwhile, over here, when it gets warm outside,
opening everything back up,
it'll die down, or splash some bleach in your beverage and you should be all right. And later on, they're like, yo, this is real. Yeah, this is real. So we're going to come up with contingency plans. And it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, because they didn't know. You know what I mean? Like you're saying, Rick, it's like when it first hit, New York got hit hard first. And a lot of people in New York was traveling to Florida. Like, they're saying, like, well, if it's hot outside, the virus can't, last in the heat.
Yeah, no.
So, all right, let's go to Florida. And Florida gets bang. Yeah. Texas, bang. All these hot areas.
You don't cook a bacteria. Like, I mean, it's hot as shit down there.
Yeah.
It only multiplies when they.
Yeah.
But spring break and stuff like that didn't help, because a lot of college students were going down there, not wearing no mask, and it's 40,000 people in one area, drinking off of each other, and coughing, and just not being safe.
It's like a soup bowl full of Corona. That's what that is. It's gross, but.
And then they're spreading it by going back on the plane, going home to Nana or Papa, and now they're sick too. And it's like, Jesus Christ.
The government knew enough about it to put countermeasures into place. They just didn't, because they knew about it before the beginning of the year. But they didn't think it was going to hit. And New York being an epicenter of that too is because of some kind of international convention that was going on there, which brought it in. And just like you said, you bring it in, then all of a sudden when people disperse all over the place, it's everywhere. Especially like y'all said too, during spring break.
Oh my goodness.
That had to have been the stupidest decision ever, to make these heads still go to spring break and not deter them.
It wasn't making them. They were like, yeah, we don't give a fuck about Corona.
They don't care.
I already paid for my ticket. My hotel's paid for.
They don't care.
I'm going out there to drink.
They even had the beaches were still open in Florida too.
Everything. Florida was one of the first states to reopen.
And then everybody got
Florida and Georgia. Texas.
Yeah.
Georgia.
Yeah, Atlanta.
And those places are the high. They have the high, cases.
Atlanta already got the issues already.
They had to go back into phase 1 because everybody kept getting sick. It's what the hell?
The governor's trying to sue the mayor of Atlanta because she wanted to shut everything down. Yeah. He's suing her to open everything back up.
It's so stupid.
All because of money.
It's so dumb. People are really getting sick. Are y'all not seeing that? Like, why would y'all open up everything knowing that people are gonna go to hair salons, nail salons, you know, barbershops, and like the mall?
Yeah, even with sports, like you have like, you know, what was it, the Major League Baseball? You got like 17 players on one team. What was it, the Marlins?
Yeah, the Marlins.
17. I think it went up to 18 or 19 with the coronavirus. 17.
Same thing in the NFL. Same thing in the NBA. Has it just catching it?
Yeah, a lot of NBA players are getting sick.
Because a lot of them are international players as well.
The thing is, what I really hate when it comes to this government, they don't actually treat a pandemic as a pandemic. Because when you treat a pandemic, you have to like literally like isolate everything, and that's something that they haven't done since. I mean, at the beginning when this thing broke out, they just was like, okay, well, partially do it, but people need to go back to work eventually. What?
I know.
It just things that the government does just never make sense, and I think that's the only thing they're thinking about is just like people working, which is understandable, but at the same time, people are dying over this, and it's ridiculous.
You know what's messed up too is ignorance is bliss, because when this was first popping off, I was one of the ignorant ones, like, oh, this ain't real or whatever, it'll blow over, whatever. When my wife started putting shit together, starting to get masks, this, that, and the other, I'm like, damn, this might be real. That's when I started realizing this shit might be real, yo. And that was like back in maybe February or March. That's when I really started taking it serious. And then when they shut us down, I was like, yo, this shit is real. I'm like, woman, you got that hand sanitizer? All right, we good.
You remember how we was running around the office?
Hey, I'm like, wait a minute. They're like, oh, take your laptops. I'm like, oh, come on, man.
And even before that, I was like, yo, so y'all got any updates with this Rona? What's going on?
Like,
yo? What are we doing here, yo?
Just make sure you wash your hands and don't be around each other. Like,
seeing people roaming around Chinatown with masks on. I'm like, yo, are you sure we good?
That's when it started to get scary. Like, when you started walking, and I swear, and this was like, Lord forgive me. Like, people were like coughing around me, and I'm like, yo, like, you gonna have to take that shit outside. Right? Like, don't cough around me. Like, I was getting like really, really nervous because I'm like, I don't know if you got the Rona. Right. Like, I don't know anything, and I can't take no chances. Touching stuff, I'm like, oh no.
I was scared to cough for a second too. I usually have cough drops. I'm sitting there like,
one cough, and then the second cough, and people are like,
everybody's looking
all right now.
I actually did that inside of the school I went to the other day. I coughed on purpose, and everybody was like,
oh god, they get scared. Like, oh my god,
motherfuckers pulling out on you like, you alright, bro?
Right.
Alright now. So where your mask at, bro?
I know. So with the corona, they are saying that they're trying to open schools back up.
Not Boston. Boston's closed.
Well, not Boston, but other states are like trying to open schools back up, and they're like, we'll do half homeschool, like half have to stay home, and half can return to school. But they're putting the desks and they're putting like the barrier. I don't think that's gonna work because children don't listen.
Depending on what grade, because I know in Stoughton, I just recently did a survey on how they're going to handle the upcoming year, and they had like different options that they want to look into, and based on how that survey goes out, that's how the school system is going to apply it. One of the options is going right back in practicing social distancing. Another option is 1 week in school, 1 week at home, and Wednesdays just straight remote learning. Another option is every other day, with Wednesdays straight remote learning, every other day in school or at home. The other option is 1 week in, 1 week out, and the other option is just staying straight home.
I feel like staying straight home is probably going to be beneficial.
Yeah.
But still, you're dealing with what? Here's a problem that I guess they're
working parents.
That's exactly what that is.
Well, the schedule can't accommodate that. Right. Like if you work security or if you're a frontline worker or whatever,
like me,
you can't remote work. What's going to happen with your little one? Yeah, what's going to happen with your little one?
Do you want to send your kid to school and have them get sick and die? Like,
especially when you're in that grade where, and this is the time of year all that shit, stomach viruses and all that come out.
So you're not going to know the difference. If you have the flu now, like, is it the corona or is it the flu? And then I got to self-quarantine.
Both grade school kids and
right?
Hell.
Like, oh my goodness!
You sneezing and that's a wrap.
I know.
Excuse me.